All right, Jason here, back with part two of the good, the bad, the ugly of my road trip from Columbus, Ohio to Phoenix, Arizona, the round trip, road trip. After I posted my last video about the good, the bad, the ugly, I realized there were some things I forgot to mention, or just things I missed, uh, or bad things in my background from my relationship with my car that I didn't mention either. For example, I have taken another road trip before, and I've driven from Columbus, Ohio to Asheville, North Carolina. The problems I saw on this road trip, I did not have on that road trip. So I think there was maybe three stops, and it took me an extra maybe hour to get there. So it really wasn't that bad. But I did not have the phantom braking. I didn't have not have the screen reset. I did not have the hands-on defeat device detected. None of that. So that went pretty smooth when I drove in the summer, or actually it was in April, late April, um, from Columbus to Asheville. Uh, also, things I forgot to mention: uh, the range, how it's affected with the weather, the speed, if you have the heat or air on. I did notice that at minimum, driving on the highway at highway speeds, you are going to lose about 20% of your battery. Um, I should rephrase that. However far you're driving, you should add about 20% onto that for battery loss, if that makes sense. So, if my battery says I have 300 miles of range, really it's going to be at a minimum, or I mean at best, I should say, 240 miles. And that got as bad as 40% loss, depending on the weather, speed, and having the heat on. So I would say I averaged about 74 miles per hour on the highway during my trip. I did this because I did a leg going 69 miles per hour, a leg going 74 miles per hour, and a leg going 79. And I did not notice a big difference in battery loss of range between 69 and 74%. It's very negligible. So obviously you want to go faster if you can. I noticed a big loss between 74 miles per hour and driving 79 miles per hour. Um, Huge. So I mean, there was times where 40% of my battery loss was just lost. It was due to temperature outside, speed, having the heat on. So I found that I mean, even when it was colder, if I had the heat at like 68 and heated seat on, and I was going 74 miles per hour, I lost maybe the battery, the energy loss was roughly about 20, or maybe a little more than that, 20%, 25%, um, due to those circumstances. So if you're planning your trip anywhere in a Tesla, plan on having 80% battery at best, or 80% range at best. So again, if you're driving 100 miles, at best you're going to get 80 miles. If your battery says 100 miles, sorry, of range, at best you're going to get 80 miles. Your battery says 300, at best you're going to get 240, if I'm doing the math right. Also, time driven. That was the thing I forgot to mention. So the trip initially said on Google Maps that it was going to take 30 hours total. It took me 39 hours. And I'll say maybe an hour, 2 hours at best, were lost due to traffic or weather conditions. I mean, there were a couple times I had to drive slow just due to snow or icy roads, or high winds in Texas. So at 30 hour trip took me 39 hours. Maybe at best conditions through the whole thing would have taken me 37 hours at best. So that's something to consider with a Tesla. Um, Charge time. Charge times varied at each charging station. I charged usually between 20 and 45 minutes, depending on how far I was trying to get and where the next charging station was. Again, if there's charging stations in between your destinations all the time. So I mean, some of those times when I charged 45 minutes, I could have charged 20 minutes and went to a closer charging station. But you probably want to have as least amount of stops as possible, because that also takes up time, even if it's just a couple minutes here and there. Um, let's see what else. Oh, a cool feature that Teslas have is a report bug feature. I don't know how well it works, but I did it. When I was having the issues with the hands-on defeat device detected and the phantom steering, you press the right scroll button in and say report bug, and while you're still holding it, you report what bug it is. So you hold it in, say report bug, phantom braking constantly happening. And again, that might just be my vehicle, so I might have to get that checked out. So if that's not a lot of people's vehicles, I'll have to get that checked out. If it is, I'm sure that's something that Tesla can do an over-the-air update. That's one of the great things about Tesla. You get over the air, through internet updates. Like a lot of times, once or twice a month. It's always it's ongoing. That's one of the cool things about Teslas. Small thing that's also might be my fault. Anytime I'd be on autopilot or cruise control and I would switch lanes, I would go to switch lanes, and I don't think I was that close to the vehicles when I was switching lanes, but it would always decrease my speed. So I would have to press on the gas pedal and increase my speed to pass somebody. Maybe I was too close to the other vehicles that I was trying to pass. I don't think I was very close, but so maybe that's something I could correct. See if there's anything else I left out that I can think of. Oh, chill mode. So I use chill mode almost the whole time. I mean, there's a couple times I took it off when I was in very congested urban areas, just in case I needed an extra zip. But chill mode, I actually found chill mode effective. It did help increase range. I noticed it doesn't feel too much different than like driving a normal car. Like, I'm used to the zip of my Tesla. I have a long range Model Y. It's pretty zippy, like most Teslas are. And chill mode, it's just more like a normal vehicle. The acceleration's a little slower, whether you're accelerating from 0 to whatever, or if you're on the highway and you're accelerating. It does increase range. It's just like a normal vehicle. Then when I would take it off and in these congested areas, and I would use the normal acceleration, I noticed a huge difference. I was like, oh man, I missed that. But it wasn't bad. I would definitely use chill mode on trips. It definitely helps out, increases range, and it's not bad. I think that is it for now. So this is part 2, the good, the bad, the ugly. I didn't really categorize it this time. I know all my footage and all my videos are raw. I'm not a professional YouTuber, so I apologize for that. That's just how things are going to be. I'm just trying to get out my experiences with my Tesla that could be helpful, or for anybody looking to buy a Tesla or looking at these charging stations I'm going to, or just curious about like what it's like to drive 4,000 miles on a trip in a Tesla. I know it sounds crazy. Most people would fly, but just felt like doing it this time. Just felt like driving it this time just to see how everything went. And I guess until next time, see you later.